Viewer discretion is advised. What's going on, Side Picks Nation? I'm Red Samples, Nick Ballinger, Austin Harris. Starting off with the Subway Series. New York versus New York. How do we feel about that Soto welcome home train?
I thought Soto handled it pretty well. I feel like the Yankees fans was kind of cringy the way they treated when he came out to right field. I felt like it was kind of cringy, but it all turned back. But like him coming up to the plate and everybody booing and him, giving him a tip of the cap, I thought that was pretty professional from Soto. But obviously, the performance was very non-existent. So
Right, his replacement did way better than he did in the series.
yeah,
Hence why the Yankees won the series 2-1.
they were going to win that game anyways. Max Fried on the mound, bro.
Oh yeah, he was close. There's a reason why they were saving him game 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it fell out like that, but Max Fried on the mound, yeah. Anybody other than Senga on the other side, that game was going that way regardless.
Yeah, and I don't think the Mets are there with the Yankees yet. Like they're getting there, but they're just not quite there yet.
So did they overpay for Soto, or is he just having a slump, or what's causing the slump? Do you know?
See, here's the thing. The thing about it is where Soto's at in the lineup. He's batting second, so Lindor's leading off, and Alonso's batting behind him. And if Lindor's not getting on, they're pitching around Soto, and they're getting to Alonso. Now, given Alonso's, that's a mistake because Alonso's having one of the best years of his career.
But if you look the last 2 weeks, though, Alonso's played really bad.
Yeah. I'm just talking about overall the season in general. That's the way the lineup's been set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're pitching around. The first 3 at bats against the Yankees, he got walked.
Right.
If you look at that, so and Soto has a really good eye at the plate. Like he's looking for something middle, and if he don't get it, he's taken until he has 2 strikes. Unless he's facing Verlander in the playoffs, and he's looking for that high end fastball.
I mean, let's be honest. Is any player actually worth that amount of money? Probably not. They're looking at the aspect of the future. Like, I mean, he's young. He's gonna fill seats. He's gonna help elevate that team whenever it gets time.
So
he can hit bombs. He has a great eye at the plate. He can walk. Like he's gonna be a guy that's always gonna get on the bases and be in scoring position for whoever's coming up after him.
So do you think he's just in a slump and hasn't got started, or you've seen times in the past like players get big time money and then all of a sudden Albert Hainsworth, he got paid a lot. Of course, different sport, but he got that big contract and never showed back up.
So it is a little bit different for Soto, just because Soto, like I said, the teams have pitched around Soto this year. They've went hard on Lindor, who always starts out slow almost every year, and you got Alonso that essentially does the same normally. And Soto is, because they haven't been pitching to him, instead of taking his normal walks like he does, he's been chasing a lot of stuff that he normally doesn't, and that's reflected on his batting average. But Juan Soto he's coming into form. He's doing more of the stuff that makes him the player he is. He's got one of the best eyes at the plate among all MLB hitters. So it's not necessarily him being slow. It's just him playing a little unorthodox at the moment. I don't think the money has anything to do with it. I think Soto at the end of the year he's still going to have 30-plus bombs, and he's going to be towards the top for walks. Him and Bryce Harper, as always, and Judge. But I don't think the money's affecting it. Soto's a great player.
Yeah, it's just he'll eventually catch on. You see it a lot in baseball. Like baseball, obviously, it's hard to hit a baseball coming in that fast, especially when they're not trying to throw you anything good to hit. They know better than to throw you anything good. So I mean, eventually he'll start getting the pitches he's looking for, and he'll adjust. Right now, the way that Soto started off chasing pitches, and now he's starting to lay off those pitches, and you can go ahead. You can see slight improvement in Soto at the plate already.
Oh,
but
yeah,
the power hasn't came along like we expect yet.
Yeah, but it will. I mean, look at any year he's played in his career, like he eventually picks it up. It's just the kind of
Yeah.
player he is.
But I will say this, speaking on the Subway Series and just the Mets in general, when Lindor and Soto get going, that Mets team, the dangerous team, man. Especially if Pete Alonso continues to play at a really high level. You know, they may have the best 1, 2, 3 in baseball.
Oh, without a doubt. All of them can hit. All of them can. All of them have really good eyes at the plate when they're on. All of them can hit bombs. All of them can hit extra bases. I mean, that you could easily any game see that team go back to back to back homers or back to back doubles, like, or fill the bases up for whoever comes forth. That team, for sure, one of the best 1, 2, 3s. Definitely top five.
And we expect Viento's power to really kick in. He's not been hitting home runs like he did last year.
Yeah.
But also on the other side, the Yankees, like having DJ LeMahieu has been huge for the Yankees. And what he provides to that lineup just makes the Yankees so much better.
He's looking more like old school DJ LeMahieu now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that
been a
Yankee
far cry
team-
the last couple of years.
That Yankees team, if everybody stays healthy when they get in the playoffs, you know, we could look at them being in the World Series again, for sure. Especially LeMahieu coming in. Dominguez is continually getting better, playing at that, starting to get to that point we expected whenever he was, you know, number one prospect.
Right. The Martian.
Cody Bellinger, Cody Bellinger's really turned things around, man. He was starting off so bad, and then he's turned things around.
Yeah, he's played. I mean, he's played a little better than I expected him to in New York. You know, because he's been so hit or miss the last couple of years. You never really know what Cody Bellinger you're going to get. You're going to get anywhere close to that MVP Cody Bellinger, or you're going to get one of these that we've seen the last couple of years. And he's fortunately batting where he is in the lineup's actually been pretty productive for the Yankees.
Yeah. Yeah, but once you start seeing, like today with the Grand Slam, people walking Judge is going to start biting them when Cody Bellinger, you know, hits one out of the park. You know, you're going to have to start pitching Judge a little differently.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He's not batting 400 for no reason, that's for sure. Then you got the Tigers at first team to 30 wins. The Mets are probably going to be second. It's going to be them or the Dodgers for sure. They're both sitting at 29 currently. But what a story that is, that Detroit, you know, being where they're at. I mean, I easily thought that was going to be a surefire Cleveland or Royals division, and the Tigers, their pitching rotation has been absolutely phenomenal this year. Jackson Jobe has been pretty much as advertised, and their bats have been absolutely torched all season long.
Yeah, for sure. Especially Torkelson picking it up. You know, you even got freaking Javi Baez coming out of the woodworks doing his thing. But you also can't count out the Twins, man. They just won like 12 straight in a row. I mean, Twins continue to play good baseball. They're going to be a problem as well. That whole Central Division over there is going to be very interesting to see how things play out towards the end of the year. Especially because the Royals haven't even really got going. They're just kind of like flat-footed right now.
Yeah, and they lost Seth Lugo too for, you know,
Yeah.
15-day stint.
And then in Cleveland, I mean, you know they're going to be in the race from beginning to end. So, I mean, yeah, the Tigers, I like the Tigers to win that division, but it's going to be pretty close.
Well, the Tigers, like they're you know, first team to 30 wins. Yeah, they've only lost 4 series all year long. They lost to the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Astros, and the Rangers all year long. And aside from the Dodgers in their opening series in the season, they got swept 3-0, and the rest of them was 2-1. So they made a close series out of it. But at home, they're 17-5, and they're 14-11 away. So I mean, they got two guys that have at least 10 home runs. And then Carpenter has 9, so he's right there with them. And 12 out of 18 of their pitchers have under a 3.0 ERA.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're all around just playing really good baseball right now.
So what you're saying is you don't want to allow the Tigers to have the last at bat, 17-5 at home.
Right.
Right.
We've seen that with the Javi Baez, you know, 2 3-run shots, 3-run walk-off.
Oh, yeah. And man, they're looking at this National League, like the standings so far. It's going to be an absolute dogfight at the end of the year to figure out who the wild card teams are going to be. You
It
got,
always is National League too, though.
I know, but it's just like right now, like if you just compare it to years prior, I don't think this early in the season it's been like this close. Like you got the Mets 29, Phillies 28, Braves 24. You got the Nationals in the 20s at 21. Then you go to the Cubs 28, Cardinals 26, 24 and 22 out of the Reds and Brewers. Then you swap over to the West and you got 29 with the Dodgers, 27 with the Padres, 28 with the Giants, and 25 with the Diamondbacks. Like it's going to be like this all year long. And when it gets right there at the end, I need to look and see what those series are looking like at the end of the year because that's going to make a big difference of who ends up getting in when it's all said and done.
I'm interested in that Dodgers Diamondbacks series that starts tomorrow. I mean, the Dodgers obviously coming off that 3-game sweep with the versus the Angels, and the Diamondbacks are only 4 games back from the Dodgers. So that series could really either extend their gap or could really mix things up at who's at the top of the conference or division.
And the Diamondbacks hitting the ball right now like nobody else. Like their lineup's coming along. Once their pitching gets back to where it started off the year at, like the Diamondbacks going to be a real problem out west.
Yeah, when Marte gets back in the lineup like he has, that team all of a sudden they remember how to hit when he's back. That's for sure.
And Corbin Carroll been doing it all year long. You know, you had him, Marte, and then Suarez. I mean, it's either a strikeout or he's hitting the ball out of the park. You just don't want people on base when Suarez comes up to bat.
Yeah, and Carroll's looking like he did his rookie year. You know, he finally looks like he's over that sophomore slump, and he's actually over the hump and starting to play like the superstar player we know he is.
I feel like Corbin Carroll's not getting enough recognition. Like I feel like in the National League right now, Corbin Carroll should be the number 1 on the MVP list.
Oh,
like he's leading the MVP race with no doubt right now. And I don't think he's getting enough attention out there for what he's actually doing. Because Corbin Carroll is not a power hitter. He's a leadoff hitter, but he's hitting for power. And like not only what he can do on the defensive side for you in right field, like Corbin Carroll's doing it all out there. And then you add in Marte. Marte's absolute stud. He's been doing it for years now. So we know what we're going to get out of Marte.
Oh yeah.
But then to cover the Dodgers, Nick was talking about they lose this series. You know they start to fall down. Like the Dodgers pitching staff, like all of them being hurt, is killing the Dodgers momentum. Like they can't ever get the ball rolling because they're having to deal with injuries on the pitching staff. It's kind of unfortunate out there. But I mean, they did bring in like 7 starters, or 8 starters that could start for anybody.
Yeah,
and you'd think they would have been prepared, but so many injuries, man. It's just crazy to see that they're in the situation they're in right now.
Yeah, their pitching is crazy.
All right, what do we think? I know this is switching gears a little bit because we don't cover this a lot, but the SEC tournament for baseball this year, we got predictions on that?
So I'm taking I think Georgia's going to pull it off. I'm taking Georgia out of one side of the bracket, and I'm going to take Florida out of the other. Florida's the hottest team right now in the SEC baseball. And they started off with a really poor conference record. I can't remember the numbers exactly off the top of my head. It was like they won they were 1-12 to start, and they won like the last 6 series in the SEC. So they're playing some of the best baseball in the SEC right now. I'm going to take Florida and Georgia in the SEC championship.
I mean, Shelton's not batting a 377 for nothing, so.
But you can't count out Texas neither, though. I do like that Texas team, especially once you get to we used to get into the regionals and the super regionals and on into the College World Series. Like Texas, in my opinion, has the most complete team in college baseball right now.
Yeah,
so if I was looking ahead past the SEC tournament, I would probably be looking at like Texas and probably North Carolina playing for the championship.
Texas, who I was going to pick for that side of the bracket, and then I would have said Mississippi State, but I know you really want to pick them. So that way we don't pick the same people. I'm going to pick Arkansas out of the other side, and I think it'll come down to Texas probably take it at the end. So That's who I'm up to. Texas
Hey,
and Arkansas.
all the way through, the only thing that matters is Ace Reese and Mississippi State. It's about time to see Mississippi State roll on through the SEC and claim that championship. So I like
Mississippi State, also a team that got off to a really slow start, has been playing pretty well recently.
looking good. I like it. All right, NBA conference finals predictions. We've got Knicks versus Pacers, and we've got the Timberwolves and the Thunder. What do y'all like on both of those? Obviously, we know you like the Knicks, Austin. So shut up, Nick. What do you like?
I like the Pacers. I mean, as far as in the series, I think OKC is going to end up. It's going to take them 6 games. But I think they'll get around Minnesota, and then I think the Pacers go. They beat the Knicks in 5. I'm gonna say 5. I mean, I think they just got too much firepower on them, hitting the shots, and they're just so. They've been playing so good. Like they've swept every team, just about gentleman's sweep. You could say 4-1. Every team they played in the tournament. I just think they got all the momentum right now. So I think it's going to be Pacers, OKC, and I think the Pacers will win it all in 6 in the championship, to be honest.
That's not. I mean, I'm pretty similar, except for the fact that I think both series are probably going to go 7 games. I think the Knicks, like, if there's one side that's not, it's going to be the Knicks taking it in 6, just because they're going to have fresh legs for how easily they were able to deal with Boston. Because I mean, Boston was short with Porzingis and then lost Tatum. Like they had a fairly easy run, and they still got fresh legs. So I could see them taking that sooner. But OKC and Minnesota, I think that's going to be a 7-game series all the way through. I think it's going to be one's going to win one, one's going to win the other, and it's just going to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then it's going to be a toss up who wins Game 7. But I really want to say OKC was my pick, and I'm low key leaning Minnesota. Anthony Edwards, man, he's just a man on a mission. And SGA, once he finally gets this MVP nod, he might slack off a little. Not saying it's gonna happen, but I'm saying it might happen.
You don't think it would motivate him to actually, hey, I got the MVP and the title in the same year?
See, here's the problem with that. The problem is like we see this consistently throughout any sport. Like last year, I think there was a lot of conversation that SGA should have won it, and Jokic won it. Well, they held off announcing it, and now he beat Jokic. So I think this coming up week we're gonna find out SGA is gonna be the MVP, or he already is gonna hear like, hey, you won the MVP, because they were really holding off for the series to see who was gonna get it, even though they were leaning SGA. And I think in the back of his mind, like, he got his revenge, and he's gonna be a little complacent now that he's finally got what he was what he was owed.
Kind of like a "I told you so" type deal.
Yeah, correct. Like, y'all made a mistake last year. I proved that this year, and I knocked him off this year. So, and I feel like that's going to make it. I feel like it's going to make him a little complacent. Minnesota's going to come out of that series, and then it's definitely a toss-up between the Knicks and the Pacers. But there's no denying the way the Knicks played against Boston, regardless of easy or not. Like, they're scoring points at any point in the ball game, all ball.
And they got the best closer in the game, man.
And he's doing work. There ain't no doubt about that. Ain't no doubt about that.
So my prediction's a little different. I think the Pacers and Knicks, it's going to be, like you said, Minnesota and OKC, but I'm taking Pacers and Knicks going 1-1 all the way to Game 7. And I just think Jalen Brunson does his thing, steps up, and sends the Knicks on to the finals. But I think Tyrese Halliburton puts a lot of respect on his name by the end of the series, like he has already, even more. But on the other side, man, from what I've seen in that series with the Nuggets, OKC is younger than everybody, they're faster than everybody, and nobody can score with OKC, I'm thinking OKC 4-0. They're sweeping
Wow.
the Timberwolves. They're sweeping the Timberwolves. They're going straight to the finals, and we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah, if you would,
Knicks Thunder in the finals.
if you wasn't talking through a tunnel, I mean, I would, I would take you serious. But there's no way that Anthony Edwards is losing that series 4-0. I'm sorry.
We'll come back to this topic later, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, no,
I agree.
Hey.
I love Anthony Edwards.
Hey,
I love Anthony Edwards, but I don't think Anthony Edwards has enough help out there to score with OKC like he did, like he has throughout the playoffs. When it was the Lakers, he took over and outscored them. But who on the Lakers actually played well? LeBron didn't play well. Doncic didn't play well. With 5 minutes left to go in the series, Anthony Edwards took the game away from the Lakers every time. We talked about that previously. You can't do that with the Thunder.
hey,
You're gonna have to run with these guys. You're gonna have to keep up with these guys. These guys are stupid fast. The only way the Nuggets were able to stay in this series is because the Nuggets were more physical. And then you see them in Game 7, the Thunder changed their entire game plan, and they were hitting the Nuggets in the mouth. Jokic was having the hardest time of his life. Jamal Murray was relentless pressure on Jamal Murray. This dude looked like he was struggling to figure out his life, trying to bring the ball up the court. Like the Thunder's defense and how fast they are and young they are, they're a real problem right now. And honestly, I underestimated the Thunder.
yeah, go back 2 or 3 podcasts where I was telling y'all this before, and y'all are like, "Yeah, that's not gonna make a difference because of the inexperience." And I was like,
But what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I go back.
Hey.
They earned my respect. They have earned my respect.
I'm just saying, I'm not disrespecting OKC at all because I still feel like the series can go that way. But like I said, I mean, I've seen it time and time again where when people win the MVP, I mean, in any sport you can name it, like that's just the way it goes. Players get complacent and they lose sight of what the big picture is. And if you get SGA's mind off the game at any point, the OKC Thunder are a different team. That's 100% factual. So,
But Williams looks like the best team in the playoffs. Best player on that team in the playoffs so far.
yeah, well,
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even know who he was until the playoffs. I was like, who is this guy? What is this guy doing? Is he a sixth man? He coming off the bench? Come to find out, he's actually, he's the second best player on that team for sure. And that's saying something because Chet Holmgren is a really good player.
oh yeah. So finals predictions. What's y'all? I know we said who's gonna make it. Who y'all got winning?
Oh yeah, I said earlier, Pacers in 6 over OKC. Yeah.
I think Pacers in 6. I'm taking Knicks in 6 over OKC. I just think Jalen Brunson starts getting the job done down the stretch of those games, and does his thing.
Give me Minnesota in 7. That way we can see the posters of Anthony Edwards paying up his child support for 18 years in advance.
If it's Minnesota and if it's, I would love to see that. I would love to see Anthony Edwards win a finals championship. But obviously, I want to see my Knicks win. But I just think the Thunder's too good.
Hey, listen, they don't call him Michael Jordan's son for nothing, player. And when
I love Anthony Edwards.
And when he gets there, he's going to win. That's going to be the persona.
But if you keep him out of the finals, you ain't got to worry about him winning the finals.
Yeah. Like I said, good luck. Man's on a mission. Legend killer.
But hey, it took Michael Jordan a few years to get to that finals appearance.
You're right, but most of the time, if Michael Jordan made it to the conference finals, he was making it to the finals.
Well, I thought he lost the first 2 conference finals before he ever got over that hump.
I don't know. I'd have to look because
That's a long.
I was under the impression he was always losing the first and second round. He didn't make it to the conference finals.
He was in the beginning of his career, I know for sure. I'd have to look back and see the actual what he did before. But we know when he got to the finals, he won every time.
Regardless, give me the Timberwolves in 7. Gonna be a tough series regardless. But Minnesota in 7. Speaking of teams that didn't make the playoffs, the Mavericks. They won the lottery, got Cooper Flagg. A lot of rumors and speculation going around if they may trade out of the pick. Is that a good business decision like they did with Luka, or is that a dumb one?
I'm seeing a lot of rumors and speculations that it was set up by the NBA.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't like the draft lottery. You think, oh, it's just a draft lottery. Like to me, I wasn't thinking nothing about it. But then when the Mavericks won it with what was it, 1.4, 1.8,
1.8, yeah.
1.8% chance to win, you start wondering like how. Like the other teams, the top three teams have 14%.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's crazy. But what will the Mavericks do? I mean, they're going to draft Cooper Flag, man, and hope that the rest of their team stays healthy so that they can compete for championships as well.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The conspiracy makes sense because it's like the NBA, hit them up. Hey, listen, y'all trade Luka to LA. Let him play with LeBron. That's gonna make us a bunch of money from the ratings. That's gonna make us a bunch of money from the ratings and everything else. Look, we got y'all a similar player in a guy like Cooper Flag coming out. Y'all do us this solid. We'll do you one when May rolls around. So,
I mean, honestly, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy.
You want to talk about conspiracy, though. Like, whenever, Dallas has got new ownership, right? Mark Cuban sold out, right? And everybody's saying the people, just rumors are, obviously rumors, conspiracies. The people that own the team now, or run the team, whatever it is, they want to get casino rights and stuff. And so they want to move, and they can't just up and move the franchise. But if they get booed out of the city, then they're going to be allowed to move. So what if they just skip on Cooper Flag, take somebody out of the blue, and just put everybody up in an uproar to give them a reason to move out to get their casino rights and stuff with the team or whatever?
Yeah, but that would be dumb because Cooper Flag is without a doubt, the clear-cut number one right now. Like, he's even killed it in his scouting combine. Like, the dude is a surefire number one. It'd make more sense if they traded out of the spot. Now, depending on what they got out of it, first off, if they trade the pick regardless, Dallas is gonna riot.
So
Yeah.
If they want to move, I mean, they can really cause an uproar by either trading or doing something stupid to give them the ability to, hey, y'all don't want us here, well, fine, we don't want to be here anyway. See ya.
But I mean, who would you want in return for that pick?
Giannis.
I mean, yeah, Giannis would be the only name that comes to mind that I would think of that would make sense.
Or what if they turn around and re-sign Luka?
Yeah, but and then trade it for Giannis.
Yeah, but they're still gonna. Well, I mean, they technically would get more money out of it. So I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I don't know.
I mean, you can.
I don't know.
Giannis. I mean, Davis done said he wants to play with a big man, so you'd have to find him a big man.
Yeah, but he wants a center, big man. So
Right.
He'll have to play center.
So
That's
Be
the whole
honest,
reason.
Giannis is going to San Antonio. I mean, we don't have to worry about
I
that.
hear you.
He's going to play with Wemby.
So even if they got Giannis, him and Anthony Davis, they're like, they ain't gonna want a third big man. One of them are going to play center.
Neither one of them.
And neither one of them want to. So
Anthony Davis can play center, but he don't want to.
yeah,
Giannis cannot put Giannis at center. You take away all of his explosiveness when you put him at center.
So I mean, I don't know what they would trade it for, but I mean, during the offseason, they could always re-sign Luka. They could have just traded him off for some assets, set this year up for a failure, and then turn around and re-sign Luka in the offseason. You know what I'm talking about? Was it really a bad trade to get what they got, and they get to re-sign him?
I don't know. I think the best thing for the Mavericks though is to just draft Cooper Flag.
Is he 100% center?
No, he's not playing center. I mean, it still kind of puts him in a situation.
Right.
Yeah, but you can make trades and you can address issues like that. Like a player like Cooper Flag, that's a generational player, man. Like there's not many players like him that come out of high school that get the nod to come play on the Olympic team. Given he didn't play that much, except for in practice and stuff like that, because they had the players that played every game and barely swapped out. But players like Cooper Flag, those are the ones you wait for to come out, and you don't pass on them whenever you have the opportunity to take them.
I mean, imagine they bring in Cooper Flag, and then they trade and get like Bam Adebayo.
Right.
Now he can play center with Anthony Davis and still give them that ability to run the court like they want to anyway.
What are they going to trade for? Like to get?
I mean, they can always make trades happen. Like Bam's he's a star, but he's not a superstar. You don't have to give up too much.
So how would you run? Okay, Bam, Davis, and Cooper Flag. 3 big men.
Right, you put Cooper Flag at the 3.
Right.
Cooper Flag can do it. He can do it all. He's more of a 3, but he has the size to be a 4. He plays like a 3 though, with the way he's able to distribute the ball across the court and run up and down the court and stuff.
Trade Kyrie and put Cooper Flag at the 1.
But that's the thing, though. What if you trade Kyrie and you get a guy like Bam Adebayo or some other center in the NBA, and then you bring back Luka? Now you have Luka, you have Klay Thompson, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, and the center that you trade Kyrie for.
Would that be the biggest team in the NBA?
Right. Well, and the thing is, they would be like one of the best teams at running the court, even with having the big guys.
Yeah.
Let's just say that LeBron gets traded for Cooper Flag on draft day.
No.
First overall pick, LeBron gets traded.
No. And then Luka re-signs with the Lakers.
What an absolute terrible trade that would be.
Will LeBron
get LeBron for 1 year?
Would it be a package, LeBron and his little boy?
First off, no, because if LeBron did that to his son, he don't care about his son because you got 3 players on that team. First off, LeBron, he's on his last leg. This is his last year for sure. I guarantee this is gonna be his farewell year, where he's going around getting all the little trinkets from every team and da 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 da.
You don't think he'll do? He's not waited this long. He wouldn't do one more to play with his other son. He's not coming out next year, right? He's gonna be the year after next, right?
Honestly, as much Hollywood as LeBron is, he probably wouldn't do something like that.
That'd be
guy moved to LA just to make a movie that sucked. Space Jam 2. I mean,
I'll be honest, I haven't seen it. I ain't heard nothing good about it, so I haven't even seen it.
It's not
I'm just being honest.
Like LeBron's career, obviously he has all the accolades and he's done all this, but he has one of the most devious careers you could imagine in the NBA. He came out as the superstar that was competitor, and now his career is just kind of cringy. It's almost like everybody's just is LeBron ever just going to be done? So we don't have to hear about this anymore.
Yeah,
right. Well, the thing about that is that as far as it goes with LeBron, he's done enough in his career that at this point it's almost like he's just padding stats. And the whole thing with his son, Bronny, is he going to play in the NBA? Is he not? As long as he stays in LA, he's going to get a chance. And as long as LeBron's there, he's going to continuously get a chance. I don't see him waiting for Bryce. Because Bryce is too far away. I don't think LeBron's body will hold up. And as far as Cooper Flag goes, it'd be absolutely dumb if the Mavs... the Mavs would have to get a haul so, abnormally large that it would be impossible to say no for. And then they would still have to get everybody in a room and talk about it, because missing out on a player like Cooper Flag, like I said, that's a generational talent that you wait for those players to come around. That's not to the level of LeBron coming out or Kobe or, somebody like that, but it's a player that, when they're playing, regardless of how his career went at Duke, you understand that all the NBA players know, if you looked and found any video of them talking about Cooper Flag, they already know when he comes, he's coming hard.
What's equivalent to a KD or a Chris Paul whenever they came into the NBA? They're going to have a Hall of Fame career. It's just what exactly are they going to accomplish in their career? We don't know.
If it's with the Mavs, apparently not anything, because they'll just trade him.
Well, no, that franchise is crazy, bro.
Oh gosh. Let him be the one that brings the championship to the promised land. Luka got him there, couldn't win it. Then let Cooper Flag be the one that comes in and win it.
Well, who knows? He might turn out to be, the next Dirk Nowitzki out there.
His jump shot, as we've seen in the championship, is not that good.
Yeah. Speaking of
Well,
LeBron, though,
Game before
His
championship.
jump shot wasn't that good when he came into the NBA neither.
like you talking about LeBron leaving and stuff. Like, how bad would it be? Like, as soon as he says, "All right, this is it, my last year," shoots his last shot. Day after he leaves, that the Lakers should go up to Bron and be like, "Hey, we don't need you no more. See you." Dog."
Honestly wouldn't doubt it. Like he hasn't. I don't know. He hasn't really done anything in his basketball career
Yeah.
outside of high school basketball.
So did it hurt, or do you think it hurt or helped him being there with LeBron?
I think it helped him for sure.
Oh, it helps him, no doubt, because without LeBron there, he's not getting the attention, he's not getting the resources and like the extra work put into him. Like, I mean, let's be honest, with his size, I mean, he probably never gets drafted and goes to LA, and he's not getting all the opportunities he's getting. So,
But he also is going to get more criticized because of who he is.
so would he have got more criticized if he would have went undrafted trying to play, or is he going to get more criticized now?
All right, you take the name off of him. Take the name off of him. Just
He doesn't play.
name him John Doe.
He doesn't play.
He doesn't play at all in the league.
If he doesn't get drafted by the Lakers, I don't think he ever plays in the NBA.
Oh, really?
No. He's like
No matter.
he's like 6'2", and in high school and in college he averaged like 4 points a game and like 1 assist and 3 rebounds. Like, I mean, he's not. He has potential if you watch him play, but so do a lot of other players in college. Like, there's so many more players that played D1 that would be a way better fit in the NBA than Bronny is, and it's just unfortunate to say.
You look at the G League. I mean, there's a lot of players in the G League that are better
Right.
than Bron. They're waiting on their name to get called. So they were pissed off. Like, oh, it's a cool moment. It makes history and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, just like whenever that moment happened, Bronny was there for like 3 or 4 more games, and then they sent him down to the G League. Like that's going to be his career. He's going to have to really jump through some massive hoops in order to ever really play in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to make strides at the one if he's ever gonna play in the NBA.
He's got to be point guard,
For sure.
he's not a good enough ball handler to be that guy.
Yeah, but I mean, you put in enough work, and I mean, obviously, a lot of that stuff you hit on when you're younger, and that's what translates as you grow up. Like, you get those elite ball skills. Like, you see that all the time in all these great ball handlers throughout the years. But I mean, if he really works on it, kind of pulls away from the craft of doing a bunch of this other stuff. I mean, anything's possible, especially when you got the money like LeBron's got. Just being honest. If not, he could always go to streaming. His name alone will bring in plenty of people.
Oh yeah. Especially when GTA 6 comes out, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
NFL. Who do we think is going to be the starting quarterback for the Browns?
I mean, in my opinion, it's got to be a quarterback battle between Dylan Gabriel and Shadur. Because, I mean, you drafted a quarterback in the 3rd round. You feel like you almost have to, kind of give him an opportunity to play, especially when Joe Flacco's, they've pretty much said that Joe Flacco's there as a backup plan. And I don't think Kenny Pickett sticks around. He doesn't make it through the preseason. So, I don't know. I think the Browns will make the worst decision like they always do, and they'll start Dylan Gabriel. And then when it goes bad, they'll probably go to Flacco. And then when they get tired of hearing everybody complain about it, they'll finally give Shadur his opportunity. That's just my thought.
I mean, realistically, looking at it, I think Sanders should be the guy. He was way better than Gabriel in college. All his draft grades from everybody was a lot higher than Gabriel's. He's a lot more accurate passer. I mean, when you got Hall of Fame quarterbacks that's praising him for his accuracy and his ability to make the right decision at the college level or not, like, they obviously see that he has the potential to do it on the next level. So I think Sanders should be the one to get it. I think it's going to work out probably the way you said, or the Browns could do something stupid and if Watson's healthy, just start him.
Okay. I don't think he can he?
I don't think he's going to be ready. He's not going to be ready anyways.
What he hurt? Was it his Achilles?
Yeah, I think so.
He won't be ready to play till like halfway through the season.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me in a Browns move. They just send him out there on crutches. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Shadur puts them in contention to win that division, and then Deshaun comes back healthy, and they're like, oh yeah, he's our quarterback.
Yeah. Let's try to get some of our money back off of him.
Right. No, I really think they've cut that loss. Like they've come to terms with that. I also don't think Kenny Pickett makes it out. It's gonna be a 3-way race, and it's probably gonna go Gabriel, like you said, or Flacco. Flacco, obviously, I mean he sees himself as a backup, but when they start seeing Gabriel in practice, it's gonna be, hey, do we just give this guy the reps and see if it works out, or do they just like pull Flacco aside at the end of camp and be like, listen, man, we made a mistake drafting Sanders as low as we did. We can't start him, especially over a quarterback we took way earlier than him.
That's the thing.
You're gonna have to be our guy. Yeah, they can't. They for sure can't.
They can't. Like, you don't draft a guy in the third and then draft a guy in the fifth and then start the guy in the fifth round. You just can't do that.
For sure. I'm about to say they're already getting criticized as is. So
I think they should look at it like, what do they want? If they think they have a roster that can compete, I think they should just start Joe Flacco. But if they're like, hey, we're just going to develop these young quarterbacks, play for the future, yeah, then obviously you just got to do, like you said, to go with Gabriel and Shadur. But
let's be honest, you don't sign Myles Garrett to a big contract if you don't see yourself competing. You let him walk and get if your plan is develop a young quarterback, you don't sign a guy that's edge rusher at the end of his career like Garrett is. Or I say end of the career, like, by the time he gets out of this contract, to be towards the end of his career.
He's at a peak of his career right now.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead. Your max value would be trading him right now. You don't give him a deal if it's for that. So, I mean,
I think Flacco gives them the best chance to win right now.
Yeah,
I agree. But the Browns have actually came out and stated that Flacco was brought in to be a backup, and that was talked about when they signed Flacco.
Yeah, well.
But, obviously things change, and I mean, no doubt Flacco gives them the best chance to win.
Yeah.
And even though I feel like Shadur has more upside than anybody in that quarterback room, right now Flacco gives them the best opportunity to win. And it would be good for a guy like Shadur who has so much upside that to learn from a guy like Flacco.
Right.
It's been there and competed and done that. So I would if I just being a Browns fan, if I was a Browns fan, I would like to see Joe Flacco be the starting quarterback.
It wouldn't even surprise me if, all right, they got 4 quarterbacks, right, obviously. But, 5 if you count Watson. But
yeah,
we're talking about the 4 main ones. Kenny Pickett's probably not going to be there. But you can keep Pickett, and they could, now that the Saints have the news they got to move on from Derek Carr, maybe they could get up, if they see the difference between Shadur and Gabriel, whichever one does better in the preseason or practice before you even get to preseason, they could reach out to the Saints and be like, hey, we got 2 quarterbacks. We don't need both of them. You need get something for them. Then they don't have that controversy in the middle of the season.
Yeah, but the Saints can't do that because they drafted a second-round quarterback.
That's on the Saints, though. We're talking about the Browns.
Yeah. Exactly. So the Saints can't make that trade.
Yeah, and not only that,
they drafted
Saints,
a what? A second-round quarterback?
Drafted a second-round quarterback.
Early second-round quarterback.
Yeah.
My man was in the top, 45 picks.
But a team that can take the quarterback is Pittsburgh. They drafted their quarterback. Was Will Howard in the 6th or 7th round? I think it was 7th round.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you could always be like, bring in. But that's not Pittsburgh's way neither, so I don't think Pittsburgh.
Definitely not. Plus, Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starting quarterback, so.
I don't think there's a place. I do know that.
I mean, Miami could always use a quarterback. Reach out to Miami.
That's what I'm saying. For whatever reason, the Dolphins were high on Dylan Gabriel. For whatever, I'm so fucking glad we didn't get him. But they were so high on Dylan Gabriel, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, Tua's going out this year for the rest of his career, so might as well go ahead and get a quarterback, replace him.
But Tua and Gabriel do play a lot of alike. Exactly. Why me as a Dolphins fan don't want to see Dylan Gabriel there because I'm tired of seeing you
already have your backup.
Playoffs.
You already have your backup, on standby. Just call Kirk Cousins, tell him to come on down. We'll trade you Kirk Cousins for Jalen Ramsey. I mean, fair trade.
We have a young quarterback room. That's the thing, sure though.
Yeah, so you need an old guy in there. Call up Kirk
Hey,
Cousins.
I ain't gonna lie. Kirk Cousins would give the Dolphins a better chance to win than two.
Hey, and we need DB help. That'd be a good trade.
Yeah.
Whether we can afford it,
Kirk Cousins would be bad.
it's a fair trade, bro.
What's the money on their contracts look like?
That's the issue. The Falcons are our contract.
Just give us one of y'all's edge rushers y'all got in the first round.
There you go. Y'all got
Yeah.
two of them, didn't
One
you?
of the edge rushers and give us Kirk Cousins and we'll give you.
There's a reason we draft position in need because we needed it.
Come on, let's jump on Madden real quick and make this trade.
Yeah.
That's the only way it's happening. All right. What about matchups for this season? What's matchups y'all are really looking forward to going into the NFL year?
Well, yeah, I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead, start this one.
All right, I ain't gonna lie. I started to look through this whole season, and I got to like week one after looking at some preseason games, and then week one, I was like, I just want to talk about the first week matchups. Like, I'll start with preseason. I want to see the first preseason, one of the first preseason games on Friday, just the Browns and the Panthers to see what the Browns are going to do at quarterback. Plus the Panthers, they're in our division. I want to see how they're actually some of their rookies. They got a good rookie class. See how they do in the preseason. Yeah, I know it's preseason, but it also gives you a chance to look at the Browns quarterback situation.
And
then
plus, the Panthers have a lot of upside.
Yes. And then that same week one of preseason Saturday, the Titans Bucks. Obviously, Bucks and Falcons division. I want to see, but the Titans, Cam Ward, see how if they even play him in the first preseason game. But that's a game to look forward to. But week one regular season, you got a 3:30 game Sunday. You got Detroit at Packers, and then the Sunday night Ravens Bills, and then the Monday night Vikings Bears.
Bro, just hearing you say those matchups, I'm ready for NFL football.
Bro, that's why after I seen that, I was like, I don't even want to go into other weeks. I'm just going to talk about these three games. Packers,
Bills.
Oh, yeah, just those three games. Oh, obviously, there's some more, but that's just the three that stood out to me.
Oh, I mean, by far. I mean, there's some killer matchups week one. Cowboys, Eagles, Chiefs, Chargers, Bucks, Falcons, Bengals, Browns. Nobody cares about the Dolphins or the Raiders. Let's see.
Who the Dolphins play with? Raiders?
No, y'all play the Colts.
No, shit, I don't care about that.
Steelers, Jets.
Especially it's Steelers Jets, especially if Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers.
Yeah.
That would be a really good matchup.
Yeah, I mean you got some bangers week one.
Yeah, for sure.
49ers, Seahawks. Brock Purdy with that nice extension.
Yeah, we get a chance to see what Sam Darnold does with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. That both of them's going to choke. It's going to come down to whose defense chokes less.
Yeah. This is going to be the running games going on points anyway.
Right. If CMC's healthy, just go ahead and just hand that off to the 49ers.
He better be healthy in week. If he ain't healthy in week one, the 49ers are in trouble. But
49ers 1.5 point favorites. Give me the 49ers covering the spread.
Already? They got the spread already out?
Yeah. Let me
4 months away?
Let me go
I
ahead.
don't even know what the roster looks like, and they got a spread.
Yeah, here we go. All right. Way too early spread predictions for week one. That way, if some of these hit, I can come back and be like, told you so. All right, Cowboys, Eagles. Eagles -7. Give me the Eagles covering. Chiefs, Chargers.
Oh, my God.
Chargers -2.5. Heck yeah. Give me the Chargers. Heck yeah.
That's because they seen that picture of Patrick Mahomes playing golf.
Yeah.
He looked all out of shape.
They seen that picture of Patrick Mahomes' wife, more like it.
Yeah, they seen that picture of her out there. They're like, man, Patrick Mahomes must not be ready. He's playing too much ball, outside of playing football.
All right, let's see. Bucks, Falcons. Bucks -1.5. Give me the Falcons. Bengals, Browns.
You just say it. You don't believe that.
I do. I like Penix, and I think Mayfield's gonna. It all depends on Godwin for me. I'm just gonna go ahead and say Godwin's not ready, and I'm gonna say Falcons take that.
The problem
or Bucks win by 1.
Well, see, the problem I have, obviously, you want to talk about the Falcons. I can talk about it all day. We didn't improve our receiver room at all. I mean, Drake London, as good as he is, he can't be your number one receiver. He can't. And then Darnell Mooney, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, is that who number two? Anyway, the one got injured, but and we didn't get no defensive back help. We signed one safety. The safety's looking good in preseason, but we need cornerback help. We did not improve our cornerback room. So, yeah, we improved our edge rush. Got 2 first-rounders, but if you can't cover, you better hope you get to the quarterback with those guys.
Yeah.
I do like Michael Penix. I feel like y'all should have brought in a receiver. Should have been a big bring in. Especially because, y'all addressed the issue on defense, but you didn't really address the issue on offense.
At all. Not even in free agency. Of course, we're cap restricted, but, yeah. That's why it's so hard to get rid of Cousins, because in order for them to move on from him, they got to have somebody take a huge chunk of that contract to free up some room. If not, it wouldn't make sense for us to get rid of him. It's like, all right, we'll keep him as a backup. We're going to pay for him anyway. We might as well keep him.
Wow. Golly.
I think what I'm most excited about in the NFL is the NFC North. I mean, that division is just nuts out there. Especially what Caleb Williams, like how Caleb Williams plays could determine the outcome of that division, which sounds crazy with how good everybody is out there. But if Caleb Williams plays like he did in the second half of the season, like, the Bears are going to be a real problem.
Yeah, give me the Packers going undefeated and going to the Super Bowl and winning.
Dude, the Vikings may have the most complete team in the NFL right now.
I don't know. With J.J. McCarthy, but you're just hoping he's as good as he has advertised.
I expect him to be.
Yeah.
I expect J.J. McCarthy to be better than advertised.
He won't be. He's coming off that injury. He's going to be real skittish.
We got one in outer space, one sitting in a tunnel. What is going on?
I'm about to say on mine, I'm clear as day. Anyway, getting back to my pick. Bengals minus 5.5.
I think you're losing Wi-Fi, Red.
I'm really not. All right. Bengals 5.5 cover. Colts minus 1.5 against the Dolphins.
Oh, we're back to normal.
We're doing speed talk real quick.
I'm about to say I'm fine on my end, so the recording's great. Patriots Raiders. Patriots minus 2.5. Give me the Patriots. Cardinals Saints. Give me the Cardinals covering the 4.5. The Commanders and Giants. Give me the Commanders covering minus 7 and just add another 7 on it for 14.
Yeah, for sure.
Steelers and Jets.
I am kind of excited to kind of see how Jackson Dart's rookie season plays out.
Yeah,
he's gonna look like Ryan Leaf. What was his rookie season?
You say that, but he has you got to remember he has Malik Neighbors out there. And Malik Neighbors is an elite route runner with elite hands. So if Jackson Dart can get him the ball, his job's not going to be that hard.
I absolutely love Malik Neighbors. Jackson Dart is just so inaccurate, bro. Just so inaccurate.
I knew it was coming.
That's why
it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart for Neighbors. It really does. It's a good thing Saquon's not there. It really is.
All right, we're going to break the fourth wall here. You're only saying this. It's because you're a State fan.
I'm not saying that. You know what? Hey, I'll tell you what. Let me pull up the clips of how inaccurate he is. Like, him throwing slant routes and hitting receivers in the ankles. Like, bro, come on.
Don't pull up clips. You can pull up every clip, and majority of the clips they showed, Combine and all that, was the one where he rolled out to the left and hit the guy on the sideline. Seen that 5 million times. Go ahead and pull up your clips. We'll watch it another time. It don't matter.
Yeah, we can pull up clips of throws that we didn't expect Jackson Dart to make.
Right.
The one in the freaking bowl game when he rolled out to the left and chunked that ball 75 yards and hit the receiver in stride. That's unreal arm talent.
Okay. Hold on one second. You know what? I'll skip my picks. You know what? Let's just go to the Giants schedule, and I will let y'all do y'all's. I'll let y'all do y'all's Jackson Dart prediction. All right, week 1 against Washington.
I don't think Jackson Dart starts for him.
Oh, he's starting.
No, Russell Wilson's going to start.
Forget Russell Wilson. You know what? Even with Russell Wilson, you know what? Russell Wilson or Jackson Dart. Russell Wilson way better than
100% starts.
Yeah, so we can't sit here and say
Russell
Jackson
Wilson.
Dart's going. We can't say Jackson Dart week 1 prediction because the only reason Jackson Dart will come in is either Russell Wilson goes down or
Listen,
he
I'm gonna
just
tell you
does
what.
crap.
If Jackson Dart was looking at the lineup that the Giants have this year, he would call back to Ole Miss and say, "Hey, I want to come back and be the starter, bro." If he was gonna be the starter for the Giants, he would call back and he would quit the NFL. Listen to this: Week 1, Washington; Week 2, Dallas; Week 3, Kansas City; Week 4, the Chargers; Week 5, the Saints; Week 6, Philadelphia; Week 7, Denver; Week 8, Philly; Week 9, San Francisco; Week 10, Chicago; Week 11, Green Bay; Week 12, Detroit; Week 13, New England. Finally gets a bye week, Week 14. And then he finishes it off with Washington, Minnesota, and then gets two easy ones, or gets an easy one with Las Vegas, and then ends it with the Cowboys.
We can't talk about a schedule
So I'm saying
without looking at the Cowboys. They broke the NFL record
The,
for
they'll win a max of
schedule.
5 games, if that.
they went 4. What I had by counting all the games out that you were saying.
But like you look at the Cowboys schedule, they got 6 games in a row with a team that had over 10 wins last year.
That Giants schedule seemed pretty rough too, though.
Yeah, who were the 4 wins? The Saints.
They had the Saints, they had the Raiders. What was the game after the Saints? I had the Patriots.
Denver.
You got them
Denver,
beating
and I
the
had Denver.
Patriots
I got them beating the Patriots and Denver.
What's the last two? Who were the last two? You said two
and
cupcake
Denver.
I had
They
4.
are, bro. Denver's
No,
gonna beat the brakes off of them.
games? Red, who'd you say were the last two?
Oh,
You said they were giving me.
that.
Raiders,
I said it was the Raiders and Dallas was the last one.
Oh.
They get Dallas at home. They get Dallas at home.
All right, while you're pulling up schedules, go pull up Dallas' schedule. If not, I will. I got it right here,
I got it right here. What's up?
bro. Yeah, you want to talk about a tough schedule?
A tough schedule.
Yeah,
Are we looking at
going
the
down
same
there,
schedule?
Going down there, look from about week 12 to 17. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid. That right there looks
Yes,
like
yes, you got Philadelphia, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota, L.A., Washington. What are we talking about?
But you're saying if Dallas comes out slow like they always do,
They're in trouble.
they're gonna have to come out like to have a chance. They're gonna come out like 6 or win the first 6 out of the first 8 games or so.
They have 9 games before their bye, and then they got Las Vegas, and then that gauntlet.
listen to this cupcake schedule for Washington. New York, they're losing to Green Bay week 2 because they're going undefeated. They got Las Vegas, they got Atlanta, they get the Chargers, they get Chicago, Dallas, Kansas City, Seattle. They'll lose to Detroit, obviously. They'll beat the crap out of Miami. They got Denver, Minnesota, New York, Philly, Dallas, and Philly. So they're losing 2 of the last 3. No. No, Philly might give them the last one. But that's an absolute cupcake compared to the other ones we looked at.
Well, we might as well go and finish off that division. Look at the Eagles. We got
Fight,
Dallas,
fight, Eagles,
Kansas
fight.
City, the Rams, Bucks, Denver, Giants, Minnesota, Giants. That's
Hold on,
crazy.
what'd you
how
say?
they
My
put
Wi-Fi's cutting out. No, I'm just kidding.
That's crazy how they put the Giants and then Minnesota and then the Giants. Like they made the Eagles and Giants play 2 out of 3 weeks right there.
Yeah.
Just get it knocked out. Then you got Green Bay, Detroit, Dallas, Chicago, the
Hey, them
Chargers, Raiders,
now that-
Washington, Buffalo, and Washington.
Yeah, them last 3 weeks for Philly, they better hope that they're not tied for the lead for the division. They might not win it.
But the beginning of their schedule was pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, their beginning. I mean, Dallas, Kansas City, Rams,
Listen,
Bucks.
the only
The
schedule.
Rams, they should beat the Bucks.
Let's see
I don't
how
know. The
easy.
Bucks. The Bucks are really looking good. As much as I hate to say that, they drafted really well.
But let's be honest, the winner of that division is 1 game over 500 as always.
Let's be
All right,
honest.
listen
Taylor
here.
Swift and her influence on the Chiefs schedule. That's what I'm talking about. Chiefs going 12-5, 13-4. Let's see. They start off with the Chargers, then they got Philly, then they got New York. They get a cupcake game before they play Baltimore. Then they got Jacksonville, Detroit, Las Vegas, Washington, Buffalo, and then they end the year with Indy, Dallas, Houston, Chargers, Tennessee, Denver, Las Vegas.
Oh my God! So even if the Chiefs get off to a rough start, like they're going to win their division just because of the end of the schedule. I
Wow.
mean,
They're
what?
they're going 6-0 or 7-0 in their last 8.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like even if we're like, oh, it's a divisional race with the Chiefs and whoever, the Chargers or the Broncos or whoever, like the Chiefs are going to win it division. Like we know that already.
How hard's Miami's schedule? Have you looked? Let's see.
I haven't looked at it.
You got the Colts,
First
Patriots,
off, why would we
Bills,
look?
Jets,
Miami's gonna.
Panthers, Chargers, Browns, Falcons, Baltimore, Buffalo, Washington. That Washington game's where is it at? It's at a neutral location. And you got Saints, Jets, Steelers, Bengals, Bucks, Patriots.
It's about a 50-50 schedule.
Yeah.
It's not really hard.
Win the games you're supposed to, you should be all right, huh?
Yeah, we usually do, but then we lose to the teams that if we want to get over the hump, then we get beat.
Listen, all I can tell y'all is Packers undefeated, winning the Super Bowl, hoisting the Lombardi. They're gonna rename the trophy the Love Trophy, or the Rogers Trophy, or the if they rename it, it'll be the Thomas Edward Brady Trophy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, even though Aaron Rodgers deserves it. He held it one time. That's good enough.
But there's always this year with Pittsburgh.
I mean, honestly, if you look at the NFC North, like you may be looking at the team that finishes last in that division still over 500.
I think every team in the North is going to be over 500. There's no.
That's
doubt
what I'm
about
saying. Everybody over 500, and so as a team that finishes last, you're going to have an over 500 record.
it.
I
You
don't
may
think
be
the
look,
Bears will.
you may
You
be
don't
looking.
think the Bears will? I think
No.
the Bears is like a huge sleeper with how good they could be.
I think they'll be like 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Did they change the? I know that there was a vote. Did they change the wild card? They were supposed to add a wild card for every.
They
team.
pushed it back till they pushed the vote till later.
Yeah. So imagine the entire NFC North gets into the into the playoffs.
That's
Yeah.
But
Like I said,
if they
when
add this
Caleb
extra
Williams
game,
when Caleb Williams got drafted, he found out he was going to the Bears. He almost just said, "Fuck it, I'm going to go play basketball."
he should have. I don't think
So how
Caleb
did
Williams is
how
all
did
that.
that break
That's just
down
my
look?
opinion. Though.
But yeah, his athleticism, bro, you cannot go undenied. He definitely has a lot of growing. I felt like he grew throughout the season a whole lot last year.
Yeah.
But it's hard to come in as we've seen many times, come in as a rookie, start week one, and not have a rough season. Not many rookies. I mean, I don't even think of it. Come out week one of the rookie year and just have a really good season. You don't see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at the breakdown of the proposal. Talking about the seeding being based on division winners rather than the actual record themselves. They're division winners.
What if they reseeded the playoffs after each round?
Well, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about reseeding after the first round,
Yeah.
reseeding it all together.
Yeah.
And that's what
That
they
would
were
be
saying.
weird.
They were saying who was it? Who was that? One of the teams that ended up hosting one of the other teams had a significantly less record, and they were trying to get it flip flopped. Or yeah.
I know Detroit wanted it that. I think Detroit brought it up for the fact that I think it was Detroit, Minnesota, They were playing. They were tied for first, or the winner took first place in the conference before the playoffs or something. And so they got the bye week, and it ended up being obviously you get the bye week, you get home field advantage, and the other one went to the first round. It was like and then there was another team. They got home field advantage. That was like 9-8. I think it may have been the Bucks or something. And Detroit was like, "Yeah, we got 12 wins or 13 wins. Why are we not at home field?"
Yeah, and win your division.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why I got brought up.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
If you want to complain about it, just win your division.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So the proposal is that instead of it being the division winners after the first round, it gets reseeded by your
Record.
overall record. And then if you have
I don't like.
a head to head with that person, the tiebreaker is what it say? The tiebreaker would be if the wild card team and division winner have the same record, the division winner would automatically get the better seed, even if they lost the head to head against the wild card team. So if you're a division, if you win the division, that's your nod in the head to head. But if not, it would be based solely off of record, and that's because you've got these teams that's like last year. They're saying the Eagles had to go play in Los Angeles, and they had 3 or 4 more wins than the Rams did, but the Rams won their division. So they're saying that it's giving props to the teams that's actually winning more games throughout the year that just ended up being a division that had a team that won just as many, or you know what I'm saying? Like I think let me see, I can just say it instead of.
Well, the big one was like the Bucks. Like the Bucks won their division, and they got home field advantage with
and the Rams.
9-8.
Something like that.
Yeah. So no, they were 10-7.
Okay.
Bucks and Rams were both 10-7, and then the wild card teams were the Vikings 14-3, the Commanders 12-5, and the Packers 11-6. And how did this work out? Yeah. Anyway, so if it would have been reseeded last year, then it would have been the 1-7 Lions, Eagles, Vikings, Commanders, Packers, Bucks, and Rams. So essentially, you'd have like a true like top versus bottom instead of the division winners play versus top versus bottom.
Yeah.
But that boy wouldn't that suck,
I don't think it'll get passed this year. I think they're gonna have to figure it out. It's definitely gonna be something they have to put on and let it iron out some flaws.
Boy, wouldn't that suck.
I see the argument, but a team that won their division, regardless of what their record was, shouldn't be punished.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't that suck?
But a team that went 12-5 shouldn't have to go play on the road to a team that went 9-8.
But another reason why
at the same time, like you're in the division you're in, just win the division.
I think another reason why the NFL would be more acceptable to something like that, because let's be honest, week 16 or 17 and 18, some of those games, there's certain teams that either their record's so bad it don't matter, or teams already have bye weeks and stuff for the division, so that's going to incentivize actually winning those games.
I actually do like that when you look at it that way.
Yeah.
Because like you could be, I see what you're saying though. Even though you may win your division or you may be in line to lose your division, but you're going to get a higher seed. You could actually be playing for an actually higher seed.
So
Correct.
As far as the NFL's standpoint, that's more incentive to actually go with something like that.
Yeah. See, I do like it when you think about it that way.
Yeah, because not only that, then depending on where you fall, but that's tough because if it falls like that, then you can also guess how the bracket lines up, and then that can determine how you play those last 2 games. Like, hey, the one person, the team that's got the first overall seed, and they're 15-2, and you're sitting here with 13 wins, like. You could be like, all right, we could rest our starters the last 2 weeks, and if this other team wins 1, we lost the head-to-head against them.
They
We're
ain't
not the division
15-2
winner.
with 2 weeks left.
Do what?
They ain't 15-2 with 2 weeks left.
Sorry, I just looked up at the standings for last year, but what I'm saying is like, 2 weeks left, 15-0. How about that? Like that team's coming out with the first seed. So you're like, all right, like I'm looking down and I'm like, hey, I could end up playing the daggum the Rams or the Bucks winning their division because they only got 8 wins right now. If they come out like
it would make you want to fight harder to get more wins because if you can try to secure that 2 seed, you know you're not playing the 1 seed until the championship. Because either way, no matter how they reseed it, 1 and 2 is never going to play
until they get to the.
Right. So it would actually make them want to win those 2 games instead of sit because it's like, oh shit, if we lose these, we may have to go against this 15-0 team. We got to win these.
Yeah, no. I get it. I was saying it more from the standpoint of like it could also like it could go both ways. Like they could also set it up where like they're looking and seeing the scenario of like depending on how many games are between each, who they could like set themselves up to play as well.
Yeah.
Like the
Well,
one
that's what
thing,
Red
the one
Fan
thing
first-
playing,
You-
the
you
one
could
thing
choose-
playing
you
who
pick
they're
your
playing
first round
regardless.
Yeah, you're saying you could pick your first round matchup based off of whether you win or lose your last 2 games or so.
Yeah.
Right. Or yeah, your first round or second round matchup.
I don't know.
Like I said, I don't think it would go this year because it's gonna take. It's like the college playoffs. They've done it the first year, just without really looking into it too deeply. Now they're like, okay, we got to redo this. I think that's what they'd do with the NFL. Like, all right, we'll put it out here. We won't run it, but we'll just think about it and try to pick apart the pros and cons. Bring it back up later, probably next year, and look at it again.
Well, first off, with the college part of it, there was too much backlash. Like, there was teams that they had that was deserving to get in. They was like, the ratings would be better if we put this team in. And, like, it was clear as day as that's what was happening. They're like, yeah, we can't keep doing this. Like, we got, like, at least if they have 12 teams now, it's going to be like, okay, we can justify, like, hey, you know, like, we can move some teams up enough to like have like some closer matchups at the bottom that they can keep out those teams that they don't want in.
But the college football playoffs also incentivizes winning your conference championship,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and they're taking that out of the NFL.
But they're also talking about taking that away from the like the seeding portion of that, taking that away from college this year too.
They shouldn't do that, though. But I get. I mean, yeah, they probably are, but they shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, they more than likely will.
Yeah.
All right, anyways, this is going to wrap us up on this podcast. We're fixing to dive into best bets of the week, or best bets for Monday and Tuesday, rather. I'm Red Samples.
Austin Harris.
Nick Ballinger.
Nick Ballinger. All right.
Yeah.
See y'all.
Best bets of the week.
All right, best bets, May 19th. Nick, what you got?
Let me get Brian Reynolds get 1.5 bases against Nick Lodolo. He's getting 417 for 12 at bats. And also, I'm going to take Mookie Betts to get 1.5 bases against Brandon Pfaadt. He's batting a 357 on 14 at bats. What you got, Austin?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Nick Castellanos for over 1.5 total bases because he smashes lefties and Freeland gives up a lot of runs. And I'm also going to take Gunnar Henderson for over 1.5 total bases because he's finally got the wheels rolling. All right, Red, what you got?
All right, give me Nico Horner over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. He's batting a 625 against Cabrera. And then give me Jackson Churio over 1.5 total bases, with him batting a 500 against Dean Krimmer. All right, May 20th, best bets. Opie, what you got?
Yeah, I'm taking Jesus Luzardo for over 6+ strikeouts going up against the Rockies lineup. And I'm also going to take Scooball for over 6+ strikeouts because that's what Scooball does. All right, Nick, what you got?
Let me get Tyler Stevenson to get 1.5 bases versus Bailey Falter. He's batting a 533 at 15 at bats against him. And also I'm going to take Spencer Steer to get 1.5 bases against Bailey as well. He's also hitting over 500 with 17 plate appearances. What you got, Rick?
All right, give me Ohtani over 1.5 total bases against Nelson. And then give me Trey Turner over 1.5 total base, or over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. He has a 467 against Senzatella. That's the best bets for Monday and Tuesday on Red Samples.
Austin Harris.
Nick Ballinger.
Peace.